Give it to me straight, Doc. What's wrong with me?
You have an imbalance of awesome sauce in your system. Too much of a good thing. Tell me, has something really, really awesome happened recently?
Not really. Well, Weird Al guest starred in an episode of My Little Pony recently.
My God. Right. Nothing to do but operate. We're going to have to remove your funny bone.
No! Wait, what?
Your funny bone and your philtrum.
That's part of my lip.
Your patella.
A human kneecap.
Axilla.
That's an armpit! Ponies don't even have armpits! Where'd you go to medical school?
Wikipedia.
You're not a doctor, are you?
No, but I faked one on the internet.
Uh-huh. Security!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not jump the gun here, pun intended. You've got a lot to say about this episode, and I can tell. Best treatment is to get your thoughts out there. And for that, you need 20 cc's of internet review. Stat.
If I say yes, will you stop using that awkward lingo?
No promises.
And you have to put back that doctor's coat. You'd have to redraw everything, and I don't think you want to go through with that.
Oh, good point. Plus, it's easier to play the accordion this way.
Wait, what do you... Oh, no. Glad that's over. When Weird Al was first announced to be voicing a character in MLP, I remember thinking to myself, yeah, that sounds about right. Weird Al is no stranger to appearing in cartoons. He's expressed his enjoyment of the show on multiple occasions, and has closely worked with the show staff. Heck, the guy who composes the scores for Friendship is Magic used to be in Al's band.
Our tale begins way out in Appaloosa? Seriously, they found a way to reference that place and reuse the Buffalo characters? Hey look! There's Brayburn!
Hey look, who cares?
And some pony we haven't seen before.
Now that I do care about. This is Cheese Sandwich, voiced by Weird Al Yankovic.
Sandwich!
I wasn't worried at all about his performance being good or not. As Weird Al is a proven voice actor and singer, there really were no worries on quality. However, there is a danger in using celebrities to be voice actors, because viewers who are familiar with them and their work will see the actor and not the character they are voicing. Does Weird Al fall into this trap? Let's see.
Yep, those ponies never partied so hard.
Wait, this is Weird Al? It doesn't sound a thing like him.
That was a doozy!
Oh, there he is! Unfortunately, Weird Al falls into this and falls hard. It was difficult for me to see Cheese Sandwich and not Weird Al Pony. That doesn't make his performance bad, it just kind of threw me for a loop.
Best thing about Cheese Sandwich, besides the voice, is his design. Yeah, it's Weird Al, yet it's not Weird Al copy and pasted onto a background pony. His lanky frame, clothing, and mane make him so unique. Though I have to ask, why is he dressed like Clint Eastwood? Oh, who cares? It's funny.
But animation-wise, there's a bit of a stumble. Weird Al was very hyperactive and emotive in his voice work, and I don't think the animation supported him very well. There were quite a few times where I said to myself, man, the way Al said that line, it called for something way goofier with the animation. It's kind of like being served a soup with a great broth, but the noodles are just above average.
A soup analogy. Well, cross that off the list of things I never thought I'd have on this show. One title sequence later, we're back in Ponyville for our first musical number. A lot of fans were split over Magical Mystery Cure's use of a musical setup. Personally, I think the real problem was that the show tried to pull off two separate stories in 22 minutes. Here, with the focus on one tale, the musical numbers are not only enjoyable and well-paced, they give second-tier characters a chance in the limelight.
She planned my quinceañera, my dad made me, I won't lie. I demanded all the best, I suppose she passed the test.
To be honest, I initially wasn't happy with the musical aspect of this episode, but upon a second viewing, I found myself enjoying the songs a lot more. I personally find most musicals and Disney movies are a lot better the second time around, given that you can better internalize everything and see everything in perspective rather than immediately. Musical numbers in general are a good vehicle for exposition, and besides, what better way to spice up a long and boring backstory than with music?
I'm a little wary of when episodes feature the town ponies more. They'll gladly cheer on a pony in one episode and then laugh at her in another, sing and dance with one pony and then abuse her friend. Ponyville's residents are whatever the script needs them to be. Today's attitude is nice!
Cause this isn't just any birthday. It's also the anniversary of when I moved to Ponyville.
Some have pointed out that it would be odd to move to a new town on your birthday. To those I say, ha! I moved to Kenya, Africa on my birthday, so shut the fuck up! Anyways, the fact that Rainbow Dash is having the entire town in on her birthday must be doing wonders for her big head. Does Rainbow Dash really need more of an ego trip? How are we looking on the ego meter, Silver?
Nothing too serious. We moved past David Hasselhoff and just reached Peyton Manning. We're still stable.
Keep me posted. It's interesting to note that Pinkie is only kinda crazy at first, as in she's not her usual bubbly, carefree self.
Parties are serious.
That scene with Pinkie going all super serious is part of what makes this episode so fun. This episode joins the ranks of Party of One and A Friend Indeed as presenting Pinkie as a well-rounded character, something that's not easy to do. But trouble rolls into town as Cheese Sandwich appears.
Oh, it's no coincidence, my little pony.
He said it!
No! Bad Silver! And here we get to the point where Cheese Sandwich is singing. The polka sounds very authentic and something Weird Al would compose. And the funny thing is that Weird Al didn't write the songs. It was entirely the work of Daniel Ingram and Stefan Andrews. They obviously did their homework when researching the ins and outs of polka, and their composition matched Weird Al's tone perfectly. We also get an explanation for Cheese Sandwich's doozy. He has a cheesy sense, which allows him to predict where parties are.
This actually set off some warnings in my head. What? It's a glandular problem, and I'm very sensitive about it. Here's the thing, a lot of fans give their original characters abilities to match the main six, and in doing so, they take away from what makes these heroines unique. So I'm not crazy about seeing an in-show pony do the same. But then I thought about Cheese's role in this story. He's a developed character with a backstory and personality. His cheesy sense puts him on equal level with Pinkie, and she'll get to grow from this experience. That's the critical difference. By giving Cheese Sandwich a similar ability, the writers are still pursuing Pinkie's development.
One thing to note is the cheesy sense is limited to just parties, whereas the Pinkie sense includes falling objects, scary events, rainbows, and slapstick setup. What Pinkie doesn't predict is the town falling for Cheese Sandwich. This seems to have caused a commotion in the fandom, and I feel the need to defend this decision. There is no malice to this situation. It was born out of a miscommunication between the parties. Yes, the town is distracted by something new, but be honest, who wouldn't be? Yes, her friend said a few things that would sound bad out of context, but when you say something that can be taken two ways, whose fault is it for taking it the negative way instead of the positive way? It's a jarring change of mood to be sure, but it's just a tonal shift, not a character shift. It was just an inevitable time bomb that resulted from the townsfolk being... that's a little harsh.
Hey, this thing only does 4-letter words. Dumb is the tamest it goes.
Rainbow is also caught up in the whole thing now that she feels excited about having 2 party planners for her party. How's it looking, Silver?
She's reached Olsen twin levels, just slightly diluted.
Define slightly diluted.
Diluted enough that this happens.
I mean, Pinkie Pie's parties are fun and sweet and all, but now this party's gonna be...
Epic?
You said it! No offense, Pinkie.
Tactful. Yes, Rainbow might not have used the best choice of words there, but then again, that's just Rainbow being Rainbow. The actual problem was that Pinkie wasn't expressing her feelings. She's unintentionally sabotaging herself by not letting her friends see her upset. Thus, we must cue the Pinkie Pie emotional breakdown.
Pinkie is taking this hard, including trying to give up on partying. This might seem extreme, yet I identify with it. Her parties, much like Rarity's dressmaking and Rainbow's athletic accomplishments, are a part of her self-expression. Feeling like that is going underappreciated can really cut away at an individual's self-confidence. And we're treated to another song with a ton of references. What works so well here is that viewing these past episodes isn't a requirement. Pinkie provides just enough narration to help newcomers keep up. Wait, Pinkie has another sister who didn't appear in the flashback and has never been mentioned? It's a female shining armor!
Aw, that totally destroys the Pac-Man naming convention. Humph. Oh well, my headcanon's flexible. After bouncing back, Pinkie decides to come out swinging.
I challenge you to a goof-off! You Pinkie promise!
She is surprisingly terrifying.
Oh yeah.
So, are you in cheese or are you boneless?
So is she calling him spineless or saying that he can't...
Moving on!
This episode keeps surprising me with its balance of seriousness and goofiness. Objectively, planning a party isn't a world-shaking event, nor will it have an impact on Pinkie's future. Yet she cares about it so much that the audience just can't help but get swept up. And while the actions on both sides in this battle may appear random, it fits within the story structure. So it's, well...
It was organized chaos!
The best kind of chaos. Speaking of chaos, that goof-off scene was definitely the highlight of the episode. I never thought I'd see the day that Pinkie Pie and Weird Al would engage in an epic hand-to-hand polka duel. I enjoy the escalating insanity each time they trade off their lines and try to outdo each other. And as it turns out, Cheese has a party howitzer! That is 100 times cooler than a party cannon. What next? Is there going to be a party nuke?
Cut!
Unlike Rarity, whose revelation came after her apparent moment of triumph, or Rainbow Dash, whose moment came before her high point, Pinkie finds the rainbow connection in the middle of the contest and calls everything to a halt, which technically makes this a defeat. She realizes that she put her identity as a party pony ahead of making sure that her friends had fun.
I really like each of these great what have I done moments for each Rainbow Eyes moment. It's that moment of dawning comprehension that I live for. Whenever it happens and the characters realize how they've been acting and what needs to be done about it, it always leaves me with a warm fuzzy.
And I like that they didn't try to crown a superior comedian. Though Pinkie looks like she's trying to leave town, I know she's into extremes, but really?
And not to talk about Cheese's backstory. Aside from how it reinforces that cheese sandwich is not malicious, there's a few things that caught my attention. MLP seems to be continuing the typecasting of Manehatten as a city of jerks by showing that kids there apparently bully others to the point of them ditching the city. What? He just up and left? Where are his parents? Do ponies have cheesy alert?
Enough with the warm fuzzy stuff, you two. It's my birthday, and you gotta throw me a bash.
Oh, there's a definite spike here. We just launched past Seth MacFarlane and are closing in on Howard Stern, fast. And with the two party planners finally reconciled, we get one of the best party and pop song sequences I've ever seen. Granted, I haven't seen that many party and pop song sequences. I certainly never had a birthday party like this.
Is your name Paris Hilton?
No.
Well, that's why. That doesn't sound good. How much is this party boosting Rainbow's ego?
We're at maximum. We've reached Glenn Beck. I can't hold it. Game over, man. Additional movie quote.
I love explosions.
Good for you. And what do we have here? Rarity seems to have caught the alicorn flu. Okay. 1 time is an animation error. Twice is trolling the audience. But 3 times is a drinking game.
What? This isn't anything new for her. Best pony was an alicorn before it was cool.
Don't you mean hated? And with Cheese setting off, we see that the ponies have another speculative key.
And that's Pinkie's pride. Overall, definitely one of the best episodes. While it's hard for me to see Cheese Sandwich not as Weird Al Pony, it didn't detract from the episode in any way. It was still a solid performance and he was a lot of fun. The main thing I like here is the continuity with each character's flaws, namely Rainbow's tactlessness and Pinkie's sensitivity. It shows that these characters develop and learn lessons yet still aren't perfect and sometimes have to relearn lessons. It made me laugh, it made me feel, it sounded nice, it looked nice, it left me satisfied and happy.
There's a lot to take away from this episode, and this story trusts its audience to think for themselves. It also holds a special place in that it's the only episode in Season 4 that I'd recommend showing non-fans as a means of introduction. Though it calls back to previous episodes, it also stands on its own and hits just the right mix of fun and empathy. The biggest sore point seems to be how Pinkie's friends behave, and even that is tempered by their apology and the knowledge that they've learned a lesson as well.
Well, this was fun. Of course, I've got to bring you in.
Who's doing what now?
Sorry, but within the past 15 minutes, you've committed several federal crimes. I have you on 1 count trespassing on government property, 1 count impersonating an armed forces member, and 1 count impersonating a doctor.
Well, Dude, I cannot go to prison. I'm too pretty.
Oh, don't worry. I'll put in a good word with the convening authority. They'll buy an insanity plea.
I can wear a lampshade if that would help.
Make it a mackerel. Oh, and try to get along with your cellmate.
What is she doing here?
She broke her drill sergeant's cap. Do not take her off.
I get the top bunk. Oh, this is the most adorable beating ever.
Good news, you won't face charges. I got your sentence reduced. Now it's just banishment by party howitzer.
You are so kind. Good luck in the army.
I'm a Marine!